morning, everyone. How's everybody doing? I can't hear you, but I know you're doing well, hopefully.
Hi.
So we are here today for our January episode of the Vital Voices series, and we are here with Princess Moon, who is a poet, an illustrator, a mom, lots of stuff. You want to say hi, Princess?
Hi. I'm
So
also
before we get,
shy.
oh, that's all right. Zoom will be our comfort space today. So everyone, thank you all for joining us. We have lots of people to thank for today. So the Vital Voices series, this is a 6-part series that we have been doing since September of last year. And the magicalness of this whole project is that we've gotten support from Enterprise Bank to support the whole work. So every month we are speaking with local artists of color in the area and just getting their story, making space for folks like you in the community to know more about really beautiful people that are right in your own community. So special thanks to Enterprise Bank for sponsoring this series. Could not do this without you. We also have a few other sponsors who supported this work. Studio 26 Associates, which is a Black-owned architecture firm based in Lowell, BRM Production Management, and Nyende Thurman. Another special thanks to Enterprise Bank. So excited. We're actually wrapping up the series next month. So Princess is our first to last feature, and they're getting better and better. Yay! So we're here today with Princess Moon. Before we get started, I'm just going to read her bio to all of you. We love technology so much. Okay. Princess Moon is a second-generation Cambodian-American poet, teaching artist, and visual storyteller based in Boston. Her work unearths conversations with ancestral spirits, trauma left behind by the ghosts of violent men, and the hauntingly beautiful journey of finding oneself. As the daughter of refugees, her work as an artist is heavily informed by the Cambodian Civil War and America's involvement leading up to the genocide. She was the first woman slam master to the Mill City Slam and formerly served as the program director of the youth organization Freeverse. Princess Moon has graced the final stages of the 2011 Brave New Voices, as well as the 2012 and 2013 Louder Than a Bomb, Massachusetts. In 2014, she coached the winning team of LTA BMA and was awarded the Charmaine Santiago Golden Award for her tireless community building. Princess Moon has featured at the Boston Poetry Slam and the House Slam, amongst other venues, and presented the keynote speech at the 2016 Massachusetts Mental Health Forum. In 2018, Princess Moon founded Let Me Write You a Poem, an online platform geared towards community healing through storytelling. You can find her work in Gateways Mag, Young Angel Midnight, an anthology of emerging artists, and in her first full-length collection of poetry, The Genocide's Love Baby Learns to Sing. Princess Moon!
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so blessed, so excited. I love this, and I'm just happy that you have made the time and the space to join us today. It really means a lot.
It's an honor to be here, honestly.
Yes.
Hi.
And we have
Hi.
Hi. So before we get started, I love that you had the idea to kind of open us up with a grounding meditation. So if you'd like to do that, that'd be great.
Totally. I'm gonna share my screen.
Okay.
Can y'all see that? It says, let's meditate. Ooh. Technology, am I right? So when I do poetry workshops and like facilitate writing workshops and all these fun things, I always like to start with like group and collective breath work just to like get our energy on the same level. I think that's so important. So something that I've been doing every day since pandemic, just staying home, is like getting into meditation. And it seems like something that's intimidating, but I think that I've got it down and I can like lead others to do this and just find your inner peace and calm. And today it's raining out and I think it's just gonna be perfect. So let's meditate together. Alrighty. So this is what you will need, yourself and your body. That's it. And let me go. Okay, so you're gonna pick one way to position yourself. So you could sit, stand, or lie down. I'm going to sit, for example. Okay, now close your eyes. Bring your arms to your side and be aware of where your arms are, how they feel. Are they heavy? Are they sore? And gently just put your hands in your lap. Now we're gonna breathe in together. You're gonna breathe in through your nose on 3. So 1, 2, 3, breathe in. And breathe out through your mouth. We'll do it again together. Breathe in through your nose on 3. 1, 2, 3. Breathe out through your mouth. And we're just going to continue this breath work. So sorry for the noise on my end, but just pay attention to your breathing. Make sure you're breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. As you breathe, pay attention to your body. Are your shoulders tense? Is your jaw clenched? Are your hands in fists or are they open? Your shoulders, your jaw, and your hands are where you carry the most stress throughout your day. So just pay attention to these parts of your body. And as you continue breathing, it's time to let go of your stress. So loosen your shoulders, unclench your jaw, maybe just like open your mouth really wide and stretch that muscle. In your hands, you can put them palms up. And what I like to think of when I have my palms up is so that my energy can go and flow, and also I can receive energy from others. Now, as we keep breathing, I want you to picture yourself in the middle of the desert, any desert, but there's a long road in the middle, but no cars. You're standing in the middle of the road. I want you to think about, what are you wearing? How do you feel? Are you thirsty or are you prepared? Do you have a backpack? Do you have water? Or are you just there as is? And are you alone or are you with somebody? Now I want you to think of one thing that's been holding you back, that one thing that's making you guarded or scared or sad, or even all of these emotions. Breathe in, breathe out. What is it? Is it a person or a group of people? What do they look like? Can you name it? The thing is standing still at the end of this long road ahead, and you're facing each other. So take a deep breath in and breathe out. Now think of something that brings you joy. Imagine your favorite person with the stars in their eyes. Imagine the warmth of your face from the sun. You're in the middle of the road in the desert with your chin towards the sky. Your eyes are closed. And as we continue breathing, a small smile is finding its way to your face. With the guidance of this warmth, you decide to walk towards the end of the road. You still feel scared, but you feel better knowing that you are protected. Sometimes life feels so much like this. The fear of the unknown, or knowing the bad that's coming, the dreariness of moving forward. What's going to happen to me, you may ask. You never know what could happen if you don't dare to explore. As we continue our steady breath work in through our nose, out through our mouth, we continue down the road. There are so many things we cannot control, but look at us in control of our breathing, our bodies, how at ease and free we can be when we choose to be. Breathe in, breathe out. You reach the end of the road. You're no longer afraid. The thing you feared the most dissolves into thin air, a mirage in a vast desert. But there you stand, strong, confident, loved, warm, accomplished. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. And one last time, breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. And in this silence and peace, you can open your eyes to a message. And the message reads, "You are so loved. Thank you for doing this with me." Whew. How are you all feeling?
That's beautiful, Princess. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. I see someone may want to share how they're feeling. Let me see if I can do this. Hi, Donna. Okay, Donna, we can see you, I think, and hear you.
That was lovely.
Thank you.
It was such a nice way to begin. Thank you.
So glad. I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
Oh,
Oh, Krista, you're muted.
I said more love from Paul. I see. Beautiful. Oh, thank you.
Ooh, I feel good.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, Don, I think I'm doing the right thing. I'm trying to let me see. Trying to bring her back. Okay. Yeah, I think I love that you suggested this, honestly, because I think jumping into these talks, particularly folks of color, particularly now, we really have to just acknowledge what we're going through. Like all these events and stuff, it's great, but we can't pretend that we're in this bubble and this event is the only thing we have going on. So I think I'm emotional already. Look.
Good. I'm emotional too.
Good. Beautiful. Folks on Facebook, on Zoom, please chat as we go along with how stuff is resonating with you. Thank you. For folks who are new to Free Soil or to Princess Moon, so Free Soil, we are an arts organization. We've been around for 2 years this month, and our mission is to amplify and strengthen the voices of artists of color. So we do that through curated events, theatrical productions, and youth programming. So this Vital Voices series is one of the ways that we are amplifying local artists like Princess Moon. We keep saying that you're a poet and all this stuff, but wait, we haven't seen your poetry. So we're gonna do a short video of Princess performing. It's about 3 minutes long. I'm gonna go pull that up. Princess, do you want to introduce it at all, talk about it at all before I hit play?
Yeah, sure. So this poem is called Family Album. It's one of my favorite poems I've ever written. I think that was just like something was in my soul and like stirred and shook it up, and this poem just came out of me, and it covers my trauma with intergenerational trauma, the Cambodian diaspora, being the daughter of refugees, and also being the daughter of a single mother. So this piece of work is me as a poem. So I hope you all enjoy it.
Thank you.
So Krista, the sound isn't playing for most.
Oh, thank you. It might have been because I was on mute. Let me try one more time. Thank you, Rezi. Let me know if you can hear this okay.
There's still no audio.
Oh no, I'm so sorry, y'all.
It's okay.
Let me see. So sorry. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can. I don't even see the share audio option. Let me see. Sorry, everybody. Let's see.
Okay. Technology is tricky.
Technology is awful.
Mm.
Let's share the free share screen. Okay. Okay. Sorry, everybody. I think I might. Okay. I might just jump to Q&A, Princess. I'm so sorry.
Hey.
Okay, great.
So
So
I'm still coming out of the life-changing meditation, so this little breath of time is not unwanted. LOL. Okay, good. Good to know. What just took you me?
So Princess, what we were going to see was you performing poetry, and how did you come to find poetry as an outlet, or how did it find you?
I like how you said, how did it find you? Because I think it found me. It was meant to be. So it's a really funny story. My mentor to this day is Anthony Febo, aka Febo, and a legend, total legend. Everyone knows him around Lowell, and like, wow, he's amazing. But when I was in seventh grade, I was like 13, 12 or 13. He was my substitute teacher. Just so funny. Oh, like Kayla says, Febo, legend is correct. So he was my substitute teacher. And one day he was like, I can see you guys don't want to do this math. We also had a really like scary math teacher. So math just wasn't in the cards for me at all. I was like, let's do something else. And he's like, do you want to hear a poem? And we're like, what? Okay. Like we've never, arts expression was never introduced to us. There were other ways to express yourself, but it was mainly like sports or like there's like music class and stuff like that. But a poetry, like what is that? So he just does a spoken word piece. And if you know Febo and like know his work and are familiar with his work, like the man is just like full on, it's a performance every time. Like it's an experience. And imagine being so young and like witnessing this, just like, oh my goodness, like what? Like that was wild. Wow, I want to be like that too. Like, can you believe he's just sharing his like work and like his soul and heart, like for complete strangers? Like we were little kids, but still, like he didn't know us, you know? And then I remember like um, going home and being so amazed and inspired. I'm like, I want to write too. And my childhood growing up was really rough and really traumatic. So that just brought up, something, it sparked something in me where I was like, well, let me just write about it, And I tried to mimic like spoken word and just like free verse and things like that, but never shared it. But it felt good to write. And then like I didn't see Feeble for a long time, but once I got to Lowell High, he had founded Freeverse with Joey and Masada, his best friends, and they did outreach for UTech and Freeverse every day after school. And that was like the norm back then, just to like get students to not follow the wrong circles and like, get into like bad habits and bad groups. So yeah, UTech just had everything. Like if you wanted to do like computer things or music or sports, and they had poetry, and I was just like, wow, like that's awesome. And I saw Fibo like just stepping out of school, and I was like, oh, like, do you remember me? Yeah, of course I remember you. I run a free verse now. You should check it out. And I remember like being so confident, like, okay, but I never attended anything. I was just so shy. And so I don't know, I just lied. I don't know, sorry, Fibo. But eventually 2 years after that, like my junior year, I was getting more confident, and junior year is like when you start to apply for schools and like think about your future and things like that. So I say, hey, why not? Let me just go. And the first workshop I ever attended was led by Masada. And Masada, if you know Masada too, oh my gosh, like pure heaven on earth. Like she's one of my lifelong mentors too. And the workshop that she led, just I was so inspired by, just being led and taught by a Black woman, and just, you know, she also sings and she was just so free, and the way that she performs and shares is so elegant and graceful. So I just remember the juxtaposition of like Phoebo being just like this powerhouse, and then Masada so gentle and nurturing. And I was just like, okay, like poetry, it looks however you want it to look. And I was so inspired that day. I wrote a poem about female empowerment. I felt so proud to be a young woman that day, and that I was hooked. So I started going every day after school and writing more poems, and they were all really bad, but you know, still kept writing. And there was the youth slam, and that would be, so the youth team, they would go to San Francisco for Brave New Voices, which is an international poetry festival. And, you know, I never traveled or anything. And I was so inspired. I'm like, I need to make this team, because I think if I make this team, it's just all gonna like make sense for me. And I'm going to like see other like ways of life, and just like see what's out there, you know. And for a small city girl, like this was such a huge opportunity. But I really did work really hard to get on the slam team, and I was really bad, but I came by 0.1 of a point. So I was really the underdog, and I was the youngest, but wow, just like when I made it, I was so happy. And we went to Brave New Voices in San Francisco, and I met some of my best friends to this day back then. And that was when I was 17. So it's about 10 years ago, and we're still best friends. From Philadelphia, Toronto, the Bay, like we still keep in touch. And I just remember this is the community that, you know, is going to hold me, and one day I'm going to learn how to hold it back even better. And that's the story.
Beautiful.
Thank
So, like,
you.
I'm always fascinated by folks who, you're just so great at your craft. I feel like when people think of you, they think about poetry. And to know that there was a time in your life where you didn't even know what it was, and people reaching out to you and mentoring you is really what's helped. I love. Um, on,
You
yeah.
just practice your craft, and one day you'll get so good. Cause honey, it's so cringy just thinking about like back in the day. But you know, you gotta start somewhere.
You do. And I know a lot of your work. I had a note that on your website you say that if I lost my spot. Oh, that your work is really heavily informed by trauma. Like you talk about the Cambodian Civil War, America's involvement leading up to the genocide, and on the outside looking in, I can imagine that being hella difficult to do. But you talk about it as it being kind of healing for you. Can you share what it's kind of like working through those types of things?
Totally. To be honest, it's really lonely. Oh, I'm about to get emotional. But
Okay, I'm gonna cry too.
yeah, just like I remember, so back then when I first started, I was like, my poems are so bad because I'm writing about things that I'm not passionate about, you know, like what is my thing? Like, what is me? Who am I? What do I really want to say? And like, you know, like who do I want to inspire, and who is listening, you know? And I was like, well, I'm Cambodian-American, and growing up, like my heritage and my culture is very important to me, especially growing up with a single mother. And, you know, she lost her entire family in the genocide from the age of 12. And like she witnessed so many traumatic things, being separated from her siblings. She's the youngest of 11 siblings. And my mom and her eldest sister are the only ones in like our lineage to survive on my mom's side of the family. Yeah, so, and my mom just, yeah, it's just unbelievable. And that's literally a generation ahead of me, you know, like it's not that far back. This happened in the 60s and the 70s, you know, like my mom is still alive to tell the stories. Um, but even though she is alive to tell the stories, doesn't mean that it's easy to tell and share these stories. So I realized like I want to make it my mission to be my mother's keeper and tell her stories, you know, and just pass that on to others. And I know that from growing up in Lowell, that I have so many peers who are just like me, and their families went through the same thing, and we're going through the same thing with intergenerational trauma, and just like, you know, and how that evolves as we get older. So at first, writing these poems inspired by the Cambodian diaspora was really lonely, and doing poetry slams or features, just being like the only Cambodian-American face was really lonely. And also, I remember early on in my writing career, I had asked my mother about her story, like what's my history? Because I know like I'm from Cambodia. I know there was a war. I know who's like the bad people and you know all that stuff, who's the good presidents to you and things like this, but like what happened? Like why don't I have grandparents, you know? And like why is my lineage just like a really old damaged photo, you know? And just like, so I asked her, and I realized that I made a mistake by asking her, because it was so triggering for her to tell me about her childhood. And I wrote a poem about that, one of my first poems on this topic, about being, you know, an American child. And as my Cambodian refugee mother tells me about her childhood, and it was just so devastating. And just like seeing how hurt she was and how hard it was for her to tell me these, like I really learned like why there are family secrets, because it's just hard to retell trauma, you know. So after that, I just made it my duty, like I'm just going to do my own research. Like I have so many resources available that my mother like never had, and I can Google and this and that and watch documentaries. So just like it's a weird thing, but I think that's my generation's diaspora, just like being the children of refugees. It's like, how do you unearth your own history? And it's through media and, you know, and just like the internet and kind of making up your own stories, because you don't know if it's real, and you don't want to trigger your own parents to like verify this existence, you know. So it's hard, but I find so much joy and like getting emotional and meaning doing this work, you know, and I think it's really powerful, and it's my life's work. Like I will never stop, you know. Whew. So yeah, that's how it feels. It hurts, but I mean it's for a great purpose. And now that I'm older and I have, you know, my responsibility to the next generation, and I'm a mother to the next generation, and just like, you know, like I can tell my son his Ye's story, you know, and like what happened and things like that. And I feel really proud that I can help others, you know, do this work as well.
Mm, mm, mm. Um, I think I think it's beautiful what you're doing. I think, like you said, it's not this glamorous, like I'm gonna write a poem. It's traumatic. It's you literally are, you in particular, having to uncover these. I can't even imagine um, the depths that you have to explore. But the fact that it's something that you want to do and you see the greater impact, You know, that's all it's about.
Yeah.
How, yeah. How do you turn how do you turn all of that into a poem? Like what's the process once you've kind of found these little things here and there?
Yeah, like I never thought about my process because I don't just like sit down and I'm like, I'm gonna write this poem right now. I mean, I could try, but it wouldn't be good. I mean, I could have like an outline or something, but it would just be like, okay, this happened and then that happened. But like my actual process, it just comes to me doing my daily routine. So I take a shower and like everyone thinks so much in the shower. So
Yes.
my brainstorming will happen and I'm just washing my hair and I'm like, man, that's really effed up. Like what happened, like just getting the story or ideas and because that's just so natural. Like everyone goes through that. Like you just have revelations in the shower and then my poetry, I want it to be relatable. So I almost always write about my family. And I think that I keep writing about my family because there's so much trauma that I haven't healed from. So I just need to like keep writing about it until I feel like I'm at a really good place. So for now it's family and I almost always mention my mother in my poems and something that really inspires me when I'm thinking of a poem or even when I'm not is like when I'm cooking. And it's like especially cooking Cambodian dishes like for myself and my own like little family. I'm just like, wow, like I feel like I'm my mom right now, like channeling, it's like some deja vu. And it's always something simple, like just like cutting veggies. And I was like, whoa, that's a good line. Like doing mindless activities, I'll just come up with bars and I'm like, that's good. And I'll pull out my phone, like, okay, let me write this line down. And then just like even walking with my son and just like thinking about things or like having flashbacks and memories, I just get inspired by daily life because, that's how it is. You could be doing something and unlocking a memory out of nowhere. So I rely on that a lot because I'm sure there's a lot of repressed memories in my my mind. So just excavating them.
Hey, dig, yeah. Princess, I'm gonna bounce around so we can keep good with time. But in 2019, you founded Let Me Write You a Poem, which is an online storytelling platform geared towards community healing through storytelling. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, I actually have some slides for you. It's a load. Can you see anything?
Yeah, I can see it. Oh, yep, you're good.
Write you a poem. So yes, so let me write you a poem started. It's kind of a wild start. So I was having dinner in Chinatown in Boston with one of my best friends, Sokik, and just minding my own business. I remember I had like a job interview before that too. And we are just talking about that. So we are really focused on like spending time with each other. And we were seated at like a community table. So there was someone else on the other end, and I had my tote bag in the chair between us. And like that obviously wasn't a good idea, but I don't know. I don't know. I just felt so at home. I just did it. And then the man on the other end, when he finished his meal, he was talking to us like, oh, do you guys come here often? And we were just really not trying to talk to this man at all. And just like not even looking at him, like, bye. And then when it's time to pay, I realized my bag is gone. Yo, yeah, so that guy stole my stuff. Yeah.
What the crap?
Yeah, he stole my stuff and it was on the surveillance camera and everything. Like when he was done, he just snatched my bag, which is like I'm not you shouldn't blame the victim. But if I think about, what I should have done, like I shouldn't have
Mm.
bag there, but it was supposed to happen so I can create Let Me Write You a Poem. So, naturally as a millennial, I took it to Instagram story and I was like, dude, someone stole my shit. In Chinatown, this dude stole my shit. And like I was so upset because it was like this tote bag. Like I love tote bags. And it was this tote bag that I just love. Like I got it from a farmer's market in like 2015. And it just like I lost it for a long time. And I had just found that tote bag again. And I just had all those memories like, wow, like I used to love this bag. And I had an iPad in there that I shared with my son. And it was like a broken iPad anyway, but like it worked. And I have, like just a journal. I had this really nice sketchbook that had so many poems in there and like so many drawings that I've yet to digitize. So it's like my entire brain. And it was a sketchbook that my friend Ricky Orng, you probably know Ricky Orng, he gave it to me. And like, I remember I love that notebook because it's just a blank sketchbook, but it had a little sticker of like little Ricky on there, like his little like school picture. And just like this whole bag of things, it meant so much to me, even though it really wasn't anything. And just like feeling so robbed and violated, like someone really just did that to me. So I put all that on Instagram story naturally. That's what we do.
It's true.
Like anyone else feel me, like can you believe this happened? And I remember friends DMing me and be like, that is so shitty. You should like drop your Venmo, drop your Cash App, like let us replace the things for you. And I had like a good following on Instagram and like supporters and friends and family on there. Like that was my community. So I did that, but then I felt like shy, asking for money like that. It's just like, there's no shame to it, but for some reason, we're just always feeling like it's a weird thing to do, which I think it should now like be normalized, like asking for help, any kind of help. But a friend had a good idea and she was like, if you feel like weird about asking for money straight up, why don't you like ask for $5 donations and you write a poem? And so I was like, okay, let's try it out. So I put that on the IG story and it was booming. Like I think I wrote like 200 poems, like just from that one like story slide. And then I created Let Me Write You a Poem. So let me write you a poem. Let me share. So up at Let Me Write You a Poem on Instagram. But yeah, it's just healing the community and keeping the art of storytelling alive, one poem at a time. And the way this works is you send me a photo that, just has so many memories and you tell me a story. Like, tell me about this picture. Tell me about the people in this picture. Like, how was that day? Like, tell me whatever you want, as short or as little. And I will try my best to translate that into a poem that you can then give to your loved one as a gift. So we're great for Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, all the, capitalism holidays.
Hey.
Yeah, this is so unique, So we write about family love, romantic love, and most importantly, self-love, When like each poem, it feels so healing, not only for my clients, but myself too. Like I feel so warm that people trust me with their stories and like, their family life and just memories. And, as someone so there's me and I share everything, to the masses, but I'm pretty shy, So I understand like it's hard for people to do, to just tell a stranger essentially like, can you write me a poem about this? Like, but I'll do it. And I feel so honored with each and every poem that I write.
Beautiful. And Princess, just with time, I may have you talk about Tiny Trophy Shop, and then we're going to just open it up for Q&A for people.
Totally. I have a slide for Tiny too.
Got a slide for that?
I'm a Virgo, everybody. We got slides and calendars for days. Don't worry.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. So this is my most recent and my current passion project, Tiny Trophy Shop. And it, combines my journey as a parent and my journey as, a now illustrator. I was always afraid of having that title, illustrator, but that's what I do and I love to do it. So at Tiny Trophy Shop, we like to make early education accessible and fun through art and play. And Tiny Trophy Shop started with this one poster, the animals ABC. And I, drew this poster for my son. My son is autistic. So just in the time where we're waiting for like more support and like updates from therapies and things like that, like obviously as a mother I need to teach my own son. And so me and Ezra, we learned that we love drawing together and like doing art, and like I'm really proud of that because I'm an artist. So it's so cute. See, like your mini me want to do the same thing. So I did this for him, and he memorized the ABCs and he can name the animals and the colors. It was one poster, and it wasn't, Tiny Trophy Shop wasn't a thing yet. It was just, this poster for my son, but other moms wanted it too. And seeing my son improve, he was really speech delayed. He's 3, but he's now like talking in sentences. Just seeing him learn all these things from this one design, I was so inspired. So just moved on and did numbers, did shapes, and as behavior and regulating emotions got really hard for us as parents, I drew this simple emotions poster, and I was kind of worried that he wouldn't understand because they're just like emojis, but he learned to act them out and he memorized his emotions, and now he can name what he's feeling, and that's why I'm just like Tiny Trophy Shop. I want to make it accessible for every parent to like teach your children something new, because art is cute, but it's also powerful and meaningful, and that's just the work I want to do. And we're expanding from prints to, we have a postcard set to stickers, and we're doing apparel now, and yeah, so that's Tiny Trophy Shop.
Wow, Princess.
Oh my gosh, stop it.
Ah,
Yes.
everything that you're doing is just beautiful. And I was so struck when you were talking about your son, providing him with the tools to name his pain.
Mm-hmm. Thank
Just
you.
beautiful. Oh goodness.
Everyone, all ages, The emotions poster is actually so popular with like adults too, because, I feel like our generation, we're not taught to like name our emotions like that. So yeah, so we're the generation that's like taking the beating and making something nice out of it and feeding the next generation.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, we're gonna open it up to Q&A. So folks on Zoom, you can either put the question in the chat or use the Q&A feature. Folks on Facebook, feel free to put anything in the comments, but we have Princess Moon for a few more minutes, anyone who has any questions. So I'll just give it a couple seconds to percolate.
Yay. Thank you so much for having me. This is just so perfect. Like I feel so good and feel so held, and this is just wonderful. Thank you for creating the space.
Thank you.
using your power to give others resources. It's inspiring.
Thank you, Princess. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Anyone have questions?
I know. While we wait for some folks, I'd love to ask you about, growing up in Lowell. You have a studio at Western Ave.
I
You're
do.
teaching artists, you do all this stuff. I know that in some circles, supporting artists of color is the trendy thing right now. What is your experience been as an artist? Do you have any what's the word? Like, if you could talk to community members out there and tell them how they could best support artists that look like you, that look like me, like, what do you think we need most?
We need more grants. We need more grant money. And we need more, accessibility to receiving these grants and to applying for grants, because personally for me, I never applied to any grants until like COVID happened last year and I lost all my gigs, and like it's scary and it's so intimidating. So that's the most important thing. Grants, and grants that are accessible, and grants that are centered for people of color, artists of color, but also grants specifically for Black and Indigenous artists, for real. Time to pay up, honey. Time to pay up. So
Yes.
yes, that's my
Thank you. Thank you. Let me see. I don't see any questions on the Facebook. Okay, well, you know what? We might just, oh yes. Okay, we had a question from Paul. Can you see that, Princess?
Okay. Paul says, what is your greatest fear and how do you manage fear? Thanks, Paul. Paul is a writer. Shout out to Paul. What is my greatest fear? Oh, my greatest fear is just not being here anymore, dying and not having a legacy that, like, I don't want to be forgotten. It sounds really like, shallow, but I don't want to be forgotten because I'm working really hard to like leave something more powerful than my art itself. Like I want to leave behind a legacy, and yeah. And how do I manage my fear? I just work really hard and manifest what I want and plan out my life a lot, and also accept that, life is always not going to go the way that you want it, but, try putting myself out there more. Yes, don't worry about keeping people around, but yourself. And Donna says, thanks so much for sharing your artistic and personal story poetically. Oh, thank you so much.
Donna's great.
Great. Shout out to Donna. But thank you,
Donna,
for having me.
Thank you. So folks out there who want to support you during this time, can you just shout out all the social media, all the websites, all the stuff?
Okay, my personal IG is more of like my diary, visual diary. But if you DM me on there, I will respond like more quickly. It's Softest Glow. It's like a soft glow, but the most softest. So Softest Glow. Tiny Trophy Shop is at Tiny Trophy Shop. You can also visit the online store, www.tinytrophyshop.com, and then there's at Let Me Write You a Poem, which is on a break right now. I'm trying to restructure it and give power to Black and Indigenous voices, so I'm trying to figure that out, but you can follow that for now. And my email by princessmoon@gmail.com. Hang out with me, I'm here at Western Ave too, so I'm around town. Be my friend.
Thank you so much. Folks, please hit Princess Moon up. Any way to support artists anytime, please just do it. Thank you all for joining us. Oh, Donna, is Donna here? I may have missed it. Hi, Donna, did you want to share something?
I don't know. I just keep clicking the wrong buttons and I don't know what I'm doing.
Technology is right.
Hey,
Anyway.
same.
It's been a wonderful hour.
Oh, thank you.
Maybe I need a tutorial.
No, us too. Thank you everyone so much for joining us on this Saturday. We'll be wrapping up Vital Voices next month. Please get in touch with Princess Moon. Thank you for your support. This is Krista from the Free Soil Arts Collective. Thank you, Caitlin. Love you. Okay, bye everybody.
Bye.